Welcome guys to another video here on the Man United Daily YouTube channel, and in this one I'll be talking about my kind of like expectation and kind of like wishes that could be coming true in a January transfer window. Personally, I don't expect any sort of like major dealings, perhaps one or two going out on loan, etc. from our side of things, but you know, the caliber of players that we are looking for are those who are, you know, either competitively, very challenging for the top of their league, or you know, very key components of their team. So it's unlikely that any of these signings are coming true, but they seem to be kind of like well, two of them are seemingly the two most talked about linking with United, and obviously they make sense. And the third one I want to talk about is someone who I think might have the potential to potentially, you know, come to United and do very well here. So the first one is Seamus Coleman. So I'm sure a lot of you guys know about his attacking prowess and his development as a right back over the last 18 months or so. You know, very impressive. Used to be a winger and developed himself very well, and obviously is a key defensive position that we've kind of lacked over the past year, with Rafael, you know, picking a lot of injuries, and also Antonio Valencia is not a, you know, full-fledged right back, where sometimes his defensive frailties are exposed. And you know, when you want to challenge for the biggest prizes, you have to build from the back, and defence is the key thing with that. And so Seamus Coleman would be probably the ideal replacement. You know, he's 26, so has a lot of Premier League experience and also a bit of European experience. But yeah, he's just very good fit if we were to get him. The quoted price probably around 25-30 million pounds, so it seems a bit steep, but for what he brings to the club, and you know, he's one of these players who doesn't get injured a lot, it does seem to be a great fit. And Louis van Gaal, obviously, with this wing back system in a minute, could fit Coleman ability right down to the ground. It could be, you know, like I said, Everton are not doing great in the Premier League, but they're doing quite well in Europe. So I doubt Roberto Martinez will be looking to sell any of his key players this January window. But it seems like a name that pops up time and time again, and it seems to me that it's inevitable that a big bid will come in from, you know, either Chelsea or even from us for Seamus Coleman, who are probably one of the top right backs now in the Premier League. So it's an interesting one, and I think that it could something happen in the summer because of the situation of Everton in a minute, where they want to be competitive in a lot of, you know, European games and also Premier League games to get them up the table. It's unlikely that this deal will happen, so I'll probably say about 3 out of 10 for this window, but in the summer it could rise to perhaps a 7 out of 10. But right now it's highly unlikely that Seamus Coleman, but again, would be you know, fit the profile that Louis van Gaal would look for a right wing back or even a conventional right back. The second player that I want to talk about is Hummels, and I'm sure again it's another player well linked to the club. And Hummels, well known for his exploit in the World Cup of Germany, obviously won that tournament, and he played a key part in that, scoring against France in the quarter-final, and played, you know, some pivotal goals in those sort of games. So Hummels plays for Borussia Dortmund at minute 26, similar to Coleman. So, you know, vast experience, and obviously won a lot of things already for his age. What he brings is stability at the back, massive world-class quality, and also leadership, because right now he's the leader, or captain should I say, of Borussia Dortmund, and those are the three sort of like qualities that we are lacking at a minute at the back. I mean, the most concerning thing is that none of our defenders can stay fit, and Hummels does have a kind of like blighted or something like patchy injury record as well. But for what it's worth, he's you know, top class player, and you know, our defence at times is screaming out for sort of like an authoritative figure presence in there, because since Vidic left especially, we all thought Jones probably would take the mantle, but he seems to be injured all the time, so that's unlikely to happen. And we need some massive injection of quality in the back, and like I said previously with the Seamus Coleman case, we do need some sort of stability at the back, and just some, you know, some massive presence back there, because in order to challenge for any sort of title, you do need to build from the back. And obviously we've got De Gea in goals, but he needs more protection. And with a solid defence, you can always scrape those 1-0 wins, and those are the games that, you know, when you look back on a title challenge, you'll think they are the key games that we have scraped and won, and that ultimately could achieve our aim of winning the league once more. So Hummels, you know, the price range probably about £35 million. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund is slumming down into the Bundesliga table. They're second from bottom, I believe, 17th. And it's an 18 league team, so they're, you know, scrapping out for relegation in a minute. It's incredible to see how far off a cliff they've jumped. But obviously in Europe they're still formidable side. So like I said, with the Seamus Coleman saga, it's unlikely that this deal will happen as well in January, because of Dortmund obviously wanting to climb up the Bundesliga, but also challenging and go as far as they can in the Champions League. So, and Hummels is probably one or two of their last gems that they haven't sold to Bayern Munich, and so it's probably likely, if they were going to sell, you know, Hummels or Royce, they would rather push them out into the rest of Europe rather than feeding Bayern Munich once again. But again, Hummels fits like Coleman, fits into the profile, and obviously a central defender, a world-class central defender, should I say, is what we are crying out for. And Hummels, I think, fits the bill. Got a lot of experience, winning mentality, and obviously the right age as well to come in straight away and impose his quality and presence within the side. So definitely, you know, 3 out of 10 again for this transfer. Very unlikely to happen, but in the summer could get very interesting depending where Dortmund is in the Bundesliga. If they're still some at the bottom, but you know, survive relegation, then perhaps Dortmund will willing to you know, cash into Hummels' price. So it could be an interesting one, but again, I think more likely to happen in the summer. And the last player is kind of more a wish list kind of like player, where I think he could potentially come in and, you know, fit the bill very well here, and it's Aymeric Laporte. He plays currently for Athletic Bilbao. He's 20 years of age, French international, so you know, has a very good pedigree and upbringing over there in the Basque country. He's, you know, left-footed central defender, so would fit into that role. Right now, Rojo is the only one in that position, and again, he has been blighted by injuries so far in his United career. Laporte is well thought of, should I say, in Spain. There was numerous reports last season that Barca was going to make a bid for him. I think he got a 35 million euros release clause in his contract, so if any kind of like big bids come in, then obviously Athletic Bill will have to accept if they meet that trigger clause. And again, from this, you know, potential signing, I would look at the potential that Laporte possesses, very similar to De Gea, you know, one of the players outside of the top or big three, or you know, big three out of Spain. So Bilbao probably want to get as much money as they can, but also wanting to push him outside of La Liga to make it more of a fair playing field. But again, money always talks, so potentially could come down to the money. It showed that we have the firepower from last summer, that we're not going to be intimidated by anyone in transfer window. But this one's a bit of a, you know, very, yeah. So Laporte, you know, fantastic potential, but again, is he someone that has the quality and the experience to go into the defence straight away? Probably not at this moment in time, but thinking of the potential that he possesses, you know, he got all-round fantastic ability to go on to be a potential superstar in that central defending role. So thinking ahead, if we were to invest now, it would potentially come back and, you know, pay dividends later on, where we have a world-class central defender. But again, it's a bit of a risk, and what we need now is perhaps more experience. So this one might be a bit of a hopeful transfer target, but you never know, and you can't take your eyes off, you know, these sort of like rising, shining young players. That wraps up another video here on the Man United Daily YouTube channel. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Comment below on any of the stories mentioned, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And also, if you want to keep to be updated with the latest videos, please subscribe to the channel for more content. You can check me out as well on Twitter at ManUnitedDaily, or visit the website at ManUnitedDaily.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.